What's up, guys? This is Pete, aka NY Gooner, coming at you with an instant reaction for Arsenal 0, Liverpool 2 in the FA Cup at the Emirates. Look, this was not a good game for Arsenal and not a good game for Mikel Arteta. I think for a number of reasons. First off, let's give the credit to Liverpool that they deserve. They came, they played their game. In fact, they didn't even take this game that seriously. It looked like they were bringing on a bunch of young kids, one or two of them making their debuts at the end of this game, and we just were not able to capitalize. They had no Salah, they had no Soboslai, they had no Endo. We were down Tomiyasu, but let's be honest, we had the stronger team coming into this game. We had the home pitch advantage, and we just were not able to capitalize. I thought that Arsenal came out really well in the first half. I think we had the overwhelmingly better chances in the first half. And really, if we had a clinical striker, and I think that's the first reason that this was not a great game for Mikel Arteta today. I think at the half, we're up probably 2 goals, or maybe even 3 goals for that matter. You had Odegaard hitting the crossbar. You had Kai Havertz, who had a couple of big chances that he just didn't take. I mean, a couple other chances where Odegaard probably should have shot. I keep saying this. I don't know why Odegaard is not shooting more. He will score goals if he shoots. Kai Havertz, if he takes his first time, hits a couple of these balls instead of taking a couple other touches. I mean, just slow in his decisions today. Just not a good game. Not a good game for Mikel Arteta at this point, especially coming off a couple of losses. We now have 1 win in our past 7 games, and that is just not good enough at this point in the season. This is the point in the season where you should really be kicking on going into the second half. Coming out of January, we're going to need to, something's got to change. I mean, we have seen the same thing over and over again for the past, month plus now. And to think that you can go out there with the same players, to continue playing Kivior at left back, and I understand that we didn't have Tomiyasu available, we didn't have Zinchenko available, we didn't have, Jurrien Timber available. I mean, it's not good enough right now, and it's a really inopportune time for this to be happening. I mean, where to start? I thought Aaron Ramsdale was good in goal, and that's another reason this was not a great game for Mikel Arteta right now, is because now, 1 win in your past 7. Ramsdale coming in for Raya, looking good. He made that really. First of all, his distribution was excellent. He should have had an assist to Reece Nelson. Reece, a guy that I've been pushing for to start, and he didn't do himself any favors today, in my opinion, in my mind, or in any of the rest of the fan base's mind, I'm sure. But to try to bring that ball around Allison instead of taking it early on, I just don't think was a good decision, and it proved not to be. Ramsdale should have had an assist there. He was quick on his distribution. He had that really nice save when it was still 0-0 late in the game, where he had to get really low to his right-hand side very quickly. It actually went through a defender's legs even, and he still made the save. So really good game for Aaron Ramsdale. I think he's playing with a bit of a chip on his shoulder right now, obviously. And I think for a guy with his personality, that is a good thing, and we're going to see the best of Aaron Ramsdale right now. But the fact is, we know that Arteta prefers Raya, and now he's got a headache. Now this whole Ramsdale Raya thing is going to become, big with the English media again. It's going to be a top story because we haven't been in great form recently, and I know that that's probably not any fault of David Raya's. It's more our attack, but it's just it's going to pop its head up again, and it's just something that the team probably does not need right now. And the attack, I mean, we brought in, obviously no Gabriel Jesus today, so we had Kai Havertz playing through the middle, and we had Reece Nelson on the left for Martinelli, and I think that, I was in favor of that when I saw that pre-game, but Reece didn't do himself any favors. Kai Havertz certainly didn't do himself any favors, and that's another reason why this was not a good game for Mikel Arteta, because he's Kai Havertz's biggest fan and supporter. He's the guy that wanted to bring him in, by all accounts, for $65 million. And, after that pretty good stretch of 4 or 5 games from Kai, we just haven't seen it recently. And, I mean, let's be honest, he's not a clinical finisher. He's not a striker. He can play up there, once in a blue moon, maybe coming off the bench with 15 minutes to go to give you something different. But should have scored on Saka's corner, where he had pretty much an uncontested head on the ball. Should have probably scored 1 or 2 other times as well, where he just wasn't quick enough in pulling the trigger. Yeah, just not a good game. Not a good game for Mikel Arteta today. And This is just the FA Cup is a cup that I love, that a lot of Arsenal fans love. We've won it more than any other team in England, and again, Mikel Arteta is showing that he just cannot manage cup competitions. I'm not ready to say Arteta out right now because I think that that's still premature. I think he gets till the end of the season, but we're in trouble right now. I mean, if if the screams for a clinical striker weren't loud enough before this game, I mean, imagine how loud they're going to be after this game. Every single YouTube channel out there, every Arsenal fan that you talk to, it's Ivan Toney this, Ivan Toney that. When are we going to get Osimhen? Are we going to get Osimhen? Do we have to wait till the summer? This did nothing to quell those concerns. So, yeah, and I'm just disappointed because I love the FA Cup. In fact, I would take a League Cup right now because we haven't won jack you-know-what since the FA Cup that Arteta won in his first season with no fans in the stadium, with an Unai Emery team, guys that Arteta got rid of. It's tough. It's tough as an Arsenal fan right now. I mean, like I said, I'm not Arteta out at this point, but he's gotta change his ways. We need to bring in a striker. I think if you have to sell who you have to sell, if you have to sell Eddie Nketiah, if you have to sell Emile Smith-Rowe to balance the books for you to be able to spend decent money on a striker, whoever that might be, you need to do that because not for nothing, you're bringing on Emile with 10 minutes left to go at the end of games. He's not having any impact. Eddie Nketiah is your backup striker off the bench, and frankly, he's just not doing it right now either. Get rid of those guys. I understand you like them. I understand they're good. They practice well. They have the team's best interest at heart, but get 20 million, get 30 million for those guys. I mean, you got to do something different. And Arteta in the past has proved to be hard-headed, to say the least. So I think without bringing in a new striker up front, I don't think he changes the way that he's looking to play. Because a lot of this not shooting when you have open opportunities, I think comes from direction from him, because we know that Odegaard has a good left foot. The only guy that shoots outside the box consistently the past few games is Declan Rice. And I mean, he hasn't put one in, but at least he's trying. I mean, and Declan, I thought, had a pretty good game today. I thought Saliba had another excellent game today. I even thought Ben White was okay at times, but we made it way too easy for Liverpool. We should have had control of that game in the first half, and it didn't happen. And I think if you continue on this same game plan going into 2 weeks when we come back in the Premier League, I think it's going to be a battle for top four, and I don't think we're going to be going for the title. And I think that we still have the Champions League, and I think if you play like this in Portugal against Porto, I think you're going to go home very disappointed for the second leg of that. And frankly, what have we scored? 1 goal in the past 3 games? It's not good enough. Something needs to change. We need to bring in new bodies. We definitely need somebody up front in attack, preferably a striker. We definitely need another body in defense, whether that be a left back or in my opinion at center back, because I think once Tomiyasu comes back, we're in better shape. Yeah, not a good day. Not a good day for the Gooners out there. Yeah, it's just, I mean, we want to have these extra games on the schedule. We want to play past the third round of the FA Cup. We want to play more games in the League Cup. I don't know. I don't know what happens. I have a feeling we're going to be disappointed coming out of January. I hope that I am wrong when I say that, but I think that the Kroenkes have shown that they are generally not willing to splurge like I feel that we need to splurge in this January window. I know we brought in Jorginho and Trossard last year, and I think Trossard was a really good signing to come in. But again, he was the plan B. So it'll be interesting to see what happens over the next few weeks as we approach the middle to end of January. So I'm going to have a player ratings out tomorrow, guys. Yeah, please be sure to like, subscribe, comment, let me know what you think. Should we be chirping for Arteta out right now? Or has he shown that, the team has improved enough over the past couple of seasons where he should have till the end of this season? We're still battling in the Champions League, and we're still battling in the Premier League. So, still early, but if nothing changes, it's going to be pretty dismal going into the end of this year. So, let's try to keep our heads up. Don't let the team get you down over the next couple of weeks since we don't have any games there. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow with play ratings.